Shalom. I want to start by saying all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Hakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders, great millstone, and salutations to Akim pushing this word, sincerity and honesty, and the hopeful elect constantly enduring Shalom. My name is Quara Allah from the GMS New York camp. The title of this lesson is going to be Stuck in Dubai in a Time of War. Okay, because you have a lot of Jakes that actually went to Dubai, which that's the Middle East. Okay, you have a lot of Jakes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans went to Dubai along with other nations. Okay, but I'm mainly talking about the 2/3 of our people. They went to Dubai and for fun, for celebrations, birthdays. Um, they probably want to see something different, you know. But the problem is this: they went to Dubai in a time of war. Now you'd have known that. Have you been watching the news? You know, known as half the battle. All right. I actually had a friend of mine that wanted to go to the Middle East, and I told them that's not a good idea, and I told them why. And shortly after that, that's when the Israel and Hamas war broke out. You know, but I could only give credit to Yahweh Shimi Shah for allowing me to pay attention to the prophecies, okay, and the scriptures. And how did I do that? By way of teachers, okay, starting with the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, okay. So it's not me; it's all the Spirit. Now, if you go to YouTube, and type in "stuck in Dubai," something might pop up. Just making a quick point. Yeah, Shalakia. Now, as I was saying, if you go to YouTube and type in "stuck in Dubai," or if you have TikTok, or whatever you use, Instagram, Facebook, type in "stuck in Dubai," you'll see it right here. Okay, Americans stuck in Dubai. It says Americans stranded in Dubai describe strike never seen. Hold on. It says, pardon me. Let this play real quick. And I'm gonna read the title, and you can just check out the video for yourself. American stranded in Dubai described strike. All right, so they actually saw the strikes, the bombs dropping, and that's something totally different because you don't see those things in America. Okay, but you will soon. You will definitely see it soon in America as this thing continues. So I'm gonna get a few scriptures, and low ones makes for a edifying lesson. Okay, and that's just one. That's one Jake. Mainly it's women, but you look it up and you're gonna see it's a bunch of Jakes that's stuck in Dubai right now. Which they should have had this word, but they weren't. They wasn't listening. This is Isaiah 24:10. It says, "The city of confusion is broken down; every house is shut up, that no man may come in." Right, that city of confusion is America. Okay, this is a place of confusion. People walking around here and don't know what they want to do next. They don't know if they're going left or right, up or down. Okay, everything is in confusion. What you listen to on the TV, your leadership, what you learn in your classrooms. All right, it says every house is shut up, and no man may no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets, right? And that wine is what? This word, because Jake is going to want to know, which Jake is going to want to know what's going on. Don't be surprised if you go to camp this weekend and people come out to find out what's going on, right? It says, all joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. Now, taking trips, Dubai is one of those places you go to enjoy yourself and have a good time. It's basically complete folly, you know, vain, all right? But it says, all joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. So this is that happening right now. At one point, you was over there in Dubai having a good time. The next point, you're hiding in parking lots and sleeping in basements to avoid being destroyed by missiles. Okay. Now let's drop that right there and move on. Um, what's that? Uh, pardon me. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes, the third chapter, 3, and I'll start at 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Right? And who sets these things in order? Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay. Jump down to verse 8, says, a time to love and a time of hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Right? We're not in a time of love. We're in a time of hate. It's nothing but hate going on. All right. You go outside and say hi to somebody, they might kill you. They might stab you. And these are the stories that you're seeing on your news. It's not far fetched what I'm saying. This is exactly what's going on in the world today. It's a cold spirit on these people. A time of love and a time of hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Right? So this is a war going on. All right. We were in World War III. It didn't just start. Here it is. Drake will say, oh, World War III just started in Israel, Iran. This thing been started. Okay. Look what happened to Ukraine and Russia. All right. And it started before that. But what happened is this thing is gradually increasing. Okay. It's increasing and increasing to the point you can't deny it. Drake want to go on trips and party while the road's on fire and think they'll be okay. That's not how things are working out. That's not how it's going to work out. You're going to get caught up in that destruction if you don't get right with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. Not Jesus Christ, not Yahweh, not Yeshua. Okay. When you go into the Hebrew, all right, the ancient Hebrew, it says Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai. Okay. Yahweh, he is. Yahweh Shai, he's the deliverer. Because that's who's going to deliver us. Starting with this word, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. If you had some understanding and believing these prophecies coming to pass, you would think twice before you make any trips, any plans like that. Okay. It says, right. That's the main point. Proverbs 22 and 3 says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Right. Evil times. We're heading into evil times. Okay. What you're seeing in the world today is bad. It's um it's wicked, right? The people are cruel. Guess what? It's gonna get worse. You know, they're not safe in the Middle East. You already see it. You can be touched anywhere. You can be touched in Europe. And now you saw what happened in what was that Central South America. You know, Asia, wars are breaking out all across the world. So you won't be safe anywhere you go. You know, bombs are gonna be dropping all over this place, and then pretty soon what's gonna happen is those nuclear missiles are gonna start flying. Okay, but America, you're definitely not safe in America. America's gonna be destroyed off the face of the map. You know, the only one that's gonna be saved out of America is the elect, uh, um, the righteous, believers in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and that's what we try to be a part of. Okay, it says a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. The simple are passed on and are punished. Let's go into that word prudent. Prudent. I I I I one. Okay. I rum. I rum. It says it says shrewd, subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible. Okay. So let's go with sensible. You know, and how do you have sense through the spirit, man? Have to. The Lord is basically guiding the elect. The Lord is basically going to guide and protect the elect through any oncoming disasters. There's gonna be a lot of fatalities, but here it is. The elect is gonna be delivered. Let me see something. Just want to look something real quick. Yeah, the Lord's gonna have a hedge around his elect, man. This is not gonna be long. This is Psalm. Hold up, pardon me. Let's go to Psalms 91. Psalms 91. Let's see. Psalms 91 and 3 says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. All right. Who's the fowler? That'll be Esau. All right. Let's see something real quick. Fowler. Um, Fowler is Ya Qua Yaqua Yaqash. Okay, Yaqash. Strong's H3369. It says Fowler, trapper, bait layer. Okay, and Esau is crafty when it comes to laying baits. It says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. And the noisome pestilence going into those missiles. All right, so there you go. The elect is going to be delivered. All right, but a lot of things we ain't going to be doing. You know, this is a strict path, man. To where a lot of things you really don't want to do. I just thought just through fear, Yahweh Shimi Hawashah. See, it's a war going on, and these guys are traveling the world over willy nilly because they don't have that fear. Okay, this thing is so hot, anything could tip it over. You know, now Iran is just bombing American bases, American allies in the Middle East. It says, "He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler." Okay, his truth. This is just this wisdom. Okay, going. I'll get that too, but that's also going into the Tawah. Okay, it says, "Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day." All right, which that arrow is going into that destruction, you know, and the terrors going into those plagues, okay, famines and whatnot. It says, "Nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor the destruction that wasteth at noonday." Right, and that noonday is representing the height of this man's kingdom. All right, when this man's kingdom is at its highest point as far as military technology, influence, that's when the Lord's going to take this man out of power at the point where you think it's impossible, to the point where when you think he won, it's impossible for anyone to beat him now, right? That's why he has to bring in his new world order. And the Lord's going to just have this place be destroyed by way of those nuclear missiles and by way of those, and by way of the chariots. It says, only with thine eye, it says, 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Yeah, so we're going to see a lot of, well, I'll say this, man. Lord willing, I'm of the elect, but there's going to be a lot of deaths, a lot of casualties in the near future, right? People being sent off to the military. There's going to be a draft soon. And you saw it happen. You know how this goes. If you watch the Ukraine and Russia war, then you know how this goes. Okay, it's gonna be a draft, and then ultimately they're gonna just start taking anybody, any able man they could find to fight. Okay, but yeah, there you go. You know, these guys are stuck in Dubai. That's because they didn't have the knowledge. You know, they didn't have that understanding. That's why the scriptures say he'll make a man a hiding place. Let's find that. This is Isaiah 32 and 2 says, And the man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and the covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Okay? So man's gonna be a hiding place. What man is that? It's talking about the elect man, okay? Because they have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right. They basically see the future. We know what's gonna happen. Basically, we already have the future in our heads, man. All right? Without a shadow of a doubt. Here it is. Jake didn't even know. Jake didn't think that Russia was gonna go into Ukraine. Jake didn't think that America would be at war. All right, that's what Trump said. I'm not here to start wars. I'm here to end wars. Right, but according to the scriptures, according to the prophecies that must come to pass, that we believe in, that we have faith in, through Yahweh Shem Yahushai, this place has to go to war. This place will be in war. Third World War, and this place will be touched by war. Okay, this place is going to be nuked, and before that, it's going to be hit with all kinds of missiles, hydrogen bombs. Well, not hydrogen bombs, but those those high tech missiles they have there. Okay, like I can't think of them off my head right now, but this place is gonna get touched real bad, man. Right now, if you watch that video I showed you earlier with the Israelite woman. Hold on, I'm put it on one more time, make a quick point, and I'm gonna end it. All right, this chick right here, she wants to go to Dubai for her boyfriend. All right, but here it is. Her man should have told her, look, which that boyfriend, that's a silly term. That's her man. That's you know, basically that's her man. Basically, okay. That's supposed to be her man. That's supposed to be her hiding place. So what happened? Why is she in such turmoil? Because he didn't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? A man shall be a hiding place from the wind. A man shall be as an hiding place from the wind. When you're reading Psalms 32:7, I just saw this. It says, thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Salah. Okay. So there you go. We're as a hiding place, but Yahweh Shem Yahushua is our hiding place. Okay. That's how we will be able to deliver our families and whatnot. You know, Lord willing, be off that elect. But even on a small thing of just warning someone, look, don't take that trip. I wouldn't do that if I was you. Don't take that. Don't take that trip. Uh, I wouldn't take that jump shot. Don't take that jump shot. All right. Don't take that chip. Okay. These simple things. It might seem simple, but guess what? Not everyone has that wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. Okay. You got some men that tell their women to take it in a heartbeat. Okay. Look, baby, the kids got to eat. You got to keep your job. If your job's telling you to take it, you should take it. That you need that job. You work hard for that job. Okay. Then here it is. You drop dead in like 5 years. So I'm not gonna keep talking though. Lord willing, edifying lesson. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Hakodash, double honor to the apostles, Bishop Elsgate Millstone, and citation I can push this word, and also say, honesty, shalom.